Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I want to talk about signs that an avoidant misses you, but they're denying it to some extent. And it's usually a really deep miss. They really miss you. And the reason that this is prominent with avoidance, this is more common if you guys broke up. It can happen if you guys are together or separate, like on a business trip, etc. But the reason why the missing is so prominent is that's why they deny it. Having intense feelings, particularly for dismissive avoidance, but also fearful avoidance, it's hard to accept those feelings. It's vulnerable and you could use it against them. It accepting that they miss you shows that they're not as independent as they thought they were, that they are like everybody else. Sometimes they correlate it to weakness. And so there are a lot of things about missing somebody that can really trigger them. And for some of you guys that are not avoidant, that might be hard to understand or feel or correlate, but it is very real for avoidance. And it doesn't mean that it's okay or that it's not okay, but it's just the reality. It's just how the trigger works. But I think it's important for you to know what's happening so that you don't get triggered about how they're acting, which if you're triggered and they're triggered, both of you guys are triggered, the relationship can be a little bit affected in a negative way. So I think it's better for at least one person to not be triggered so the other person can sort themselves out. And I've made videos on how to not trigger anxious individuals. I made one recently about texting. So both people need to do the work. Should not be one person. However, this is informational purposes. The first one is that they put a lot of effort into fighting their feelings. This one's vague, so I'm going to give you examples of what it looks like. They can be literally avoiding you. They might not talk to you as often. They might, if you guys are broken up, they may actually avoid anything to do with you. Like they might take everything that they have of you away. Sometimes it's because it hurts to remember you, but they actually might be engaging in more hobbies. They may be avoiding any memory of you. You might not know this, but if you have some sort of concept that this is a potential where you're thinking, are they avoiding me? Are they trying to run away from me? Or what's going on? Yeah, this does happen. You're not making this up. This is a very real aspect that happens. It happens when they're in the first stages of trying to process what's happening, or not the first stages, like second or third stage, but we talked about the stages of them missing you on this channel, and I'll make an updated one. But usually what happens is the first one, they're feeling really good about themselves. They're feeling like amazing. And then afterwards they start feeling those feelings and now they're avoiding it even further. So you're going to see that they're putting a lot of effort. The next one is usually when this doesn't work out. They're putting effort and it's hard and missing you hurts, and they kind of realize that they are struggling to function. It sounds really dramatic, but it's true. They're not good with understanding how they feel. So those emotions are really disrupting their functioning. And so what happens, they are thinking, okay, if that's the case, I don't want to fully admit how I feel. I'm not ready yet, but this functioning is bothering me and I want to function. So how about I try and extend friendship? And so annoyingly, they will try to stay friends with you. And the strange part is, and a lot of you guys have experienced this, the friendship progresses into more contact, higher frequency of hanging out, and basically like a pseudo relationship, but you call it friends, right? And this can happen even before missing you, and it's just more about how they feel about you, they love you, or it happened after they miss you and they love you. So they're behaving this way because they don't want to lose you because it hurts a lot, but they don't want to commit because that hurts in a different way. And so they are trying to find a middle ground. And it's not nefarious. It's they're managing their own triggers and they're not really thinking of how selfish this looks. And it is selfish. But they're not realizing that that's what it comes across like because they're in their trigger. The next one is the version of initiating contact is this is so strange, but avoidants do this, especially if it's like your ex. They may send you funny or cute messages like by meme or TikTok videos or something else to spark a conversation, and it's usually indirect, or this one is something fearful avoidants do. Some dismissive avoidants do it, but it's more with fearful avoidance. They may post a song about missing someone very intensely, and it's very clear they're talking about you. That is a very indirect way to initiate contact because they're trying to contact you or you contact them, but it's they still are having some thought about you, and it still has it. They didn't keep it to themselves. They still posted it. And I know it sounds so silly, all this social media stuff, but it does happen. And if I didn't tell you that would be, I feel dishonest on my part because it's pretty common. And they're thinking of you and they kind of want you to know. And maybe at one point what happens is if you ignore that, like in a month or two, maybe even a week, maybe in a day, they're going to reach out to you. It's like, it's not even them trying to signal you to reach out, even though sometimes it is, but it's more like that's how they're processing their feelings. And maybe they will reach out by sending a meme, or they'll just say, hey, or how are you, or whatever it is. And then they might try and be friends with you. So this is not necessarily an order. It's just signs that someone misses you. The next one is sharing life events. This one is very interesting because when avoidants start doing this is actually a sign that they're getting comfortable with committing to you again, or committing to you in general. And if you're in a relationship with them and they're doing this and it's like long distance, it's very obvious that they miss you. They're sharing photos and updates about their life. And it's usually like things that are important to them. And they're sharing that with you because it's a vulnerable thing to talk about and communicate about. And they feel like they want you to understand what's happening in their life. They miss you and they miss the bond that you guys have, and they only feel safe with you. It's really part of that. Avoidance, they don't open up to a lot of people, just in general. Some of these folks don't open up to even their mom or their dad or their best friend. Some of them don't have best friends, and that's okay. But if you are the person that's receiving a lot of their updates, a lot of their emotions, what they're feeling about anything at all, even if it doesn't seem that big to you, like let's say they got a promotion and they tell you, you're the first person that they tell, it means something and it means a lot. It usually does mean that they miss you, they want to connect with you. And why I said this is a sign that they're probably getting more comfortable with committing to you again instead of leaving you in that like friend zone type of place is because they are starting to correlate their progress of their life with you. And sometimes what happens is avoidance, a lot of times actually, they didn't pursue the relationship because they weren't in the right place in terms of career, in terms of other things. And so they might be sharing these updates with you because they're getting ready for committing and being in that place where they're available to you. The next one is, I'm going to split up into two different subpoints, but you're seeing something change in their dating life depending. They might be staying single completely, or they might be rebounding. They might be jumping from person to person to avoid showing you that they miss you, which is a little more common with fearful avoidance, but some dismissive avoidants do it too. I've seen any attachment style do this. Or they stay single. That's more common with dismissive avoidance. They just stay single for a very, very, very long time because it's very hard for them to get over what happened between you guys. Then the last one is they talk about you to their friends or other people. Like you are a conversation that they talk about a lot. And so let's summarize and we'll wrap it up. They put more effort into fighting their feelings. So they're going to avoid you. They're going to engage in hobbies more commonly. They may do something they have not really ever done before. Maybe take a trip to Canada. Okay. The next one is they stay friends with you and the friendship progresses into more contact, higher frequency of hanging out, etc., almost like a pseudo relationship. The next one is that they start initiating contact. They may send funny videos, messages, TikToks, whatever it is, and it's going to be more indirect with this particular one. The next one is that they're sharing life events. The next one is that they stay single or they are rebounding. And the last one is they talk about you to their friends. I hope this video is helpful to somebody. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.